Bill Maher had Stephen A. Smith on his Club Random, where like each boomer tries to drink as much whiskey or Hennessy in this case as possible. That actually looks good. I like Hennessy. I'll just be honest with you. I prefer it. I'm more of a brandy girl. It's very expensive, but okay, I digress. Here he is talking to Stephen A. Smith, who's a ESPN sports commentator, right? Mostly talks about sports. And it's funny because Stephen Smith was like talking about Donald Trump and like warning about Trump. He was on Sean Hannity warning about Trump and saying like, how do you think Trump's going to act now that he's got this like retribution, vengeful war path? Like he's going to investigate the investigators, he's going to be an angrier Trump, a more vengeful Trump. And it was a really good point. But here he is on Club Random, and this headline is about what Bill Maher gets to say at the end, apparently, which is like a racist joke that I didn't even understand was racist. Do you guys know the moment where you're like, someone's clearly trying to make a racist joke, but you didn't even know it's like such a bad joke, you don't even get that it's racist. Anyway, here he is. But first they have to like throw down about how elitist they both are and how like, is anyone really going to lose quality of life under Trump?
And of course, it's after the election, but this is Hollywood. And, I love Hollywood. I really do. I love living here, and I love show business. Mm-hmm. And
I don't like the taxes.
Don't take it the wrong way, but the people here, they're loaded with talent. Mm-hmm. They're not loaded with smartest person in the room.
Right.
Intelligence? Is that what you mean to say? Smartest person? You mean intelligence? They're not loaded. They're loaded with talent. You love it here, but you don't get invited nowhere. Nobody likes you. That's why you had to create your own club in your basement and call it Club Random, because your ass doesn't get invited places. But anyway, here he is bemoaning Hollywood because they're not loaded with smartest person in the room, which is what a smart person would say.
Okay. I'm not saying they're complete idiots. Mm-hmm. Some, and there's some very smart people in the business, some brilliant people.
Yeah.
But
and some are very good people.
Mostly, what they got was talent. Okay. So they're talking about the election. Of course, they all want to talk to me because they're like, "Oh, that kid actually knows."
Yes, you do. You do. You do, Bill.
That kid knows shit.
So they're like, of course, they're all upset about Trump, as if
that kid knows shit. When did anyone ever say that kid knows shit about Bill Maher? Never in his whole life was anyone like, oh, hey, that kid knows something. They might have said like, hey, that kid's a son of a bitch. That kid is going places because he's a conniving a-hole. That kid is no talent, but he is cutthroat and he will make it work. That kid knows he's not like, Bill Maher doesn't have his job because he's smart. He has his job because he's smarmy and obnoxious and a contrarian, and that he sides with right wingers, and he represents perfectly the boomer / Gen X / whatever happened to Bill Clinton, like fragility that cannot cope with anything changing, with taste changing, with young people existing. That's why he's still, and he platforms a bunch of right-wingers, and I will ultimately say this a million times over, right-wing thought, yes, even fascistic thought, even, violent anti-trans a-holes, anti-vax, just like playing totally fast and loose with the law and laws of nature / science, all that is way more safe for mainstream news than anyone who talks about socialism, than anyone who talks about equity, than anyone who talks about political revolution, because that's not safe. That's just not safe. And so that's why Bill Maher is still on the air. But no one's ever said that kid, he knows something. But here he is bemoaning all of his Hollywood friends that he doesn't have.
Of course, they're all upset about Trump as if their life is going to change. Like, let me tell you, for the last year, people have been coming up to me at the nicest restaurants in Hollywood, because that's the only place I go because I'm a baller. You know this, Stephen A. Okay.
No, it's not because you're a baller, my guy. It's because you don't actually nobody wants to cook for you. Nobody wants to invite like build a home with you, my guy. Nobody wants to like, have you taste their sauce and you guys like cuddle by and like watch a good movie. Like you go out because you think you're a baller and you want to be seen by like TikTok influencer millionaires who like, whatever, like do choreographed dances for a living. And they're like, who's that old guy? Oh, that's Bill Maher, You know what I mean? Even Chitty knows that. Like, right, Chitty? Chitty, right? Okay. Chitty doesn't want to perform. Chitty's like, you're going to have to give me a snack before I do that for you. But like, because I'm a baller. This is so this is terrible.
So and it's like
your life's not gonna you're rich. I'm rich. Let's call the whole thing off. You're not gonna get deported. What are you, Mexican? Ew.
oh, Bill, what are we going to do if Trump wins? I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what you're going to do? Go back and finish your $900 dinner for 4 people.
Right.
That's what you're going to do.
Yes.
And your taxes are probably going to go down like they did the first time. And everything else you can give a shit about.
They don't realize they make it hard on people like yourself and me who will vote liberal, but we're sensible. We're not extreme. We're not extreme.
That's why the election was lost.
They make it hard for us. Everything's so, guys. I feel like all this ba 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 about the working class, all the ba 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 about unions and Amazon workers who are currently breaking their backs for these 2 dudes, Christmas presents that they didn't think about until the last minute, and all the people like. I just feel like in this whole postmortem of the election, we don't think about the millionaires. Like, because let's be real, neither of these men, sadly, wrongly, have $1 billion. Everyone's all on about the billionaires, but nobody really thinks about the multimillionaires. And I just feel like Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher being multimillionaires, like, spare a thought. Like, I just feel like the Democratic Party is just like losing its base of multimillionaires, and I'm like, what? Like, I just feel like every time a multimillionaire wants to talk about issues that matter to them, the police are always called and their encampments are, swept up and brutalized, and like people are always running vehicles into the multimillionaires protests. And I just feel like their concerns are not front and center, and we're losing the multimillionaire base. Granted, we're not growing the multimillionaire base because that's how millionaireship works. However, if we've lost the multimillionaires, vote Republican. I don't care. This is my whole thing with this. Like, this motherfucker, that motherfucker, other motherfuckers who tell you what to think on mainstream news, who get multi-million-dollar contracts, fucking vote Republican. We don't need you. Or again, start a new party. I don't give a shit. Don't throw it in people's faces that they're gonna lose you. You've been lost, my dude. Just go. Just go vote. Live your truth. Live your truth. Vote Republican. Live your truth. Nobody needs you on their side. Least of all Democrats, progressives, the majority of Americans who are struggling paycheck to paycheck. Nobody needs you, dude. Nobody needs you. Who is this for? Who listens to this podcast? Nobody listens to this podcast. Like, it's so funny to me that you think if you do listen to a podcast, like if you listen to this, you're gonna one day you're gonna be there. You're just gonna be, yeah. You know who he has on? Who's like not one of them is the Haktua girl because he thinks she's hot.
Woke. Now don't get me wrong.
Sweetheart,
Extreme.
That's why the election was lost.
Woke. Now now don't get me wrong. Inflation, immigration, of course, but that woke culture, they took the shit too far.
You got to watch.
The woke culture, guys. It's the woke culture, you know? And I just feel like those of you who would like a minimum wage raise, those of you who would like bonuses when you deserve them, those of you who would like healthcare and for not to be incredibly exorbitant, who would like to, just like get an x-ray that doesn't cost you $500, those of you who would like to pay less than $1,000 for your healthcare every fucking month, you guys are woke. It's just mostly like, you're just mostly woke. Like, you've taken this too far. You've taken this too far because you have pronouns. You have pronouns and I don't know them.
Watch my show. I know you don't get a chance to see it always. You have to see it Friday because my end.
Past Friday?
No, this current.
Oh, this coming Friday. Okay.
Because my end piece is why I'm mad at the Democrats for just what you're talking about.
I should stay for the damn show,
but
rather than.
Oh yes, Steven, you should stay for the damn show. As if you haven't seen Bill Maher scream about woke for years now.
And flying out, I should stay. I was planning on leaving.
Yeah,
Friday.
Watch it
I
in
should
person.
come to the damn show just to watch. Just to watch it.
Awesome.
Just to watch it.
You can heckle it.
Absolutely.
You can yell at the screen.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Now Trump's in president.
How about
now
that?
Trump's president. I can make that joke.
Very rude, very nasty question. You didn't even say hello.
I couldn't make that joke under Biden. Now I can make that joke.
Damn right.
All right. So here.
Wait. Okay. So he's saying I couldn't make that joke under Biden. Now I can make the joke. Let's try to find the joke.
You would love that.
Just to
That'd
watch
be
it.
Awesome.
Just to watch it.
You can heckle it.
Absolutely.
You can yell at the screen.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Now Trump's in president.
How about
now
that?
Trump's president. I can make that joke.
Very rude, very nasty question. You didn't even say hello.
I couldn't make that joke under Biden. Now I can make that joke.
Damn right.
All right. So here's the.
I couldn't make that joke under Biden. Now I can make that. So the joke he's laughing at, the joke, of course, because Bill Maher laughs at his own jokes, is that he's saying you should come to the show. You can yell at the screen, which if he were to go to the show live, why would he be yelling at the screen? But then I was like, again, when you don't know why something is racist, then I was like, Matt, what does this mean? And of course, Matt, because he's a massive racist. No, but I was like, Matt, what does it mean, yell at the screen? He was like, I don't know. Oh, does he mean like talking in a movie theater? Like the stereotype that black people like talk to in the movies and like yell at the screen in a movie theater? Like, oh, that's what it is. That's the joke that somehow was a joke that he says that now he wasn't able to make. So you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a perfect little microcosm for what centrist Democrats, corporatist Democrats, and rich people think that they are not allowed to do by the woke culture. They are fine. They are economically beautiful and perfect. It's that he's now jokingly, I'm not saying it's not a joke. I'm not saying him saying like, I couldn't make that joke under Trump. I'm not saying that's not a joke. That is a joke, but every joke has a grain of truth. And so that ultimately is what it is. He's mad, low-key mad, that he can't make a bad but racist joke about black people yelling at a screen because of Biden and the woke culture. And now he can. So ultimately, he's actually kind of happy that Trump is president because his bad joke that not even Stephen A. Smith caught works. Like, Stephen's trying to like yes and him, but he's like not even saying it's not even in a way that makes sense. He did a Trump impression, but it like wasn't clear. Like it like, you know, this is it. Just say the N-word. If you want to say the N-word, just say the N-word. Just say the N-word and let us all off the hook. You know what I'm saying? But own it. Like, own the fact that you're a racist. And own the fact that you feel oppressed by the inability to make a racist joke. So pathetic. So fucking pathetic. Anyway. Maybe we'll talk about the DNC chair on Tuesday. This has been quite a... All right, my cat's freaking out. This has been quite a fantastic Friday. Thank you guys so much for being here. Teacher Lori G says, I voted for Harris, but thought the celebrities' endorsements were a mistake. Yeah, I think actually that Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith are kind of that perfect example of why celebrity endorsements are a mistake, because these are wildly out of touch people. And I think that there's something we need to understand about celebritydom wasn't quite broken in 2016, but it was. It did break in 2016 as Trump had no celebrity endorsements, right? And Kamala got, hot sauce in my bag and all this stuff. And Clinton got all that. And it didn't work because we were starting to enter the age of real authenticity. Like, it's very clear when you're authentic and when you're not authentic, and celebrities do not help with your authenticity. And in a time of massive income inequality, they do seem incredibly out of touch with the average person. And finally, there was a psychic break that happened under COVID. Why? We know there was a psychic break because I sort of jokingly said this, like, didn't we all see the Imagine video with IDF soldier? What is her name? Oh my God, I can't remember the actress's name from Superwoman. Like, singing, a bunch of celebrities singing Imagine during COVID while we're all like living in our like studio apartments and can't go see anybody and are losing money every single day. And they're like, I'm not actually on a job right now, so I'm pretty good. And I'm just gonna film this in like the poorest corner of my home. Gal Gadot, thank you, Terrence. Like, celebrities dead. Remember when Madonna was like, now we're all the same, like we're all the same in the same boat, and like it's like, no, we're not in the same boat. You are a billionaire, actually, or whatever. And we are not. So no, we're not experiencing COVID the same way. Some of us are being called essential workers while we're being our lives are being put on the line for people to go shop at Walmart. Like, this is nothing about this is the same. So celebrity was even further broken by COVID. So I totally agree with you, teacher Lori. Totally agree. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.